today. Under mainly sunny skies, winds out of the southwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 37 tonight. Cloudy skies expected. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 65. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Right now, 32.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. Jim Baker looks set to be the next Christian County sheriff, as only 22% of the eligible voters in Christian County voted in the primary on Tuesday. Baker received 3,002 votes, or 63.05% over Phil Deal, who received 1,759 votes, or 36.95%. Out of the 21,766 eligible voters, only 4,833 ballots were cast in the Republican primary. In other contested election results on the Republican side for the governor race, Darren Bailey and Aaron B. Del Mar secured the vote with 3,508 votes, or 77%, over Dabrowski Mendoza with 11%. For the senator race, Don Tracy secured 1,639 votes, or 39%, over Jeannie Evans with 807, or 19%. For the Republican Secretary of State, Diane M. Harris received 2,590 votes, or 63%, over Walter Adams's 1,494, or 36%. In the 15th District, Mary Miller received 2,688 votes, or 61%, over Ryan D. Terbrugi with 893, or 20.38. In the 107th District, Brad Hallbrook received 2,476 votes, while John Hauge had 452. In Christian County elections, on the Republican side, in District 1, Samuel A. Sassatelli received 710 votes, which is 40%. Susan N. Wise had 627 votes, or 35%, and Luke Milan received 423 votes, or 24%. In District 2, David Puccetti received 711 votes. Vicki McMahon received 656. In District 3, Brian Sharp received 690 votes, which is 44%. Sherry Craggs received 494, which is 31%. And Ray Kuntz had 382 votes, or 24%. In the 4th District, Clint Epley received 757 votes, while Jeff Scott received 719, with a difference of just 38 votes. For the advisory referendum, the vote passed for the federal scholarship tax credit, with yes winning 3,868 to 1,718. On the Democratic ticket, there were 21,766 voters, as mentioned earlier, with 1,257 ballots cast. For United States Senator, Juliana Stratton held off Raja Krishnamurthy of 517 to 435, which is 42% to 35%. In the comptroller race, Margaret Croak received 480 votes, or 41%, against Karina Villa with 225 votes, or 19%. In the 15th District, Jennifer Todd received 500 votes, which is 43%, against Paul Davis, who received 437 votes, which is 37%. Catherine Daniels defeated Terry C. Redmond 946 to 738 votes, which is 56% to 43%. For more information on the election, visit il-christian.pollresults.net. Just over 20% of eligible voters turned out in Montgomery County for Tuesday's primary election. On the Republican side, 2,379 ballots were cast, accounting for just over 67% or 66% of the total vote. In contested Republican races for state senator, Steve McClure secured the local vote with 1,364 votes over Erica Harold, who received 1,003 votes. For Secretary of State, Diane M. Harris received 1,384 votes, which is 61%, over Walter Adamsick, who received 865 votes, which is 38%. In the 15th Congressional District, Mary Miller led the field with 1,421 votes, or 62%, followed by Ryan D. Terbrugge with 473. Jim Ackland received 227 votes, and Michael Wood had 155 votes. Moving to the Democratic side, 1,194 ballots were cast, making up about 33% of the total vote. In the race for United States Senate, Juliana Stratton led locally with 456 votes, which is 38%, followed closely by Raja Krishnamurthy with 428 votes. Robin Kelly received 140 votes, with the remaining candidates receiving smaller totals. In the comptroller race, Holly Kim secured the local vote with 500 votes, followed by Margaret Croak with 327 votes. Karina Villa had 209 votes, and Stephanie Kifowit had 157. In the 15th Congressional District Democratic primary, Paul Davis narrowly edged out Jennifer Todd, receiving 456 votes to Todd's 453. Randy Raley received 190 votes, while Kyle Nudo finished with 86. Unopposed Democratic candidates receiving 100% of the vote locally included J.B. Pritzker for governor, Kwame Raoul for attorney general, Alexi Giannoulias for secretary of state, and Michael Frericks for treasurer. Many local county races in Montgomery County were uncontested in the primary. For more information on the election, visit the Montgomery County Clerk's website. Shelby County saw a few contested races in the March 17th primary election, and the results are now in. On the Republican ballot, 2,450 of 2,733 winners elected Brad Holbrook as the next 107th District State Representative. Holbrook's votes give him a 696 vote lead against John Hauge, who received 1,655 votes. The Republican ballot shows that the 15th Congressional District State Representative victor will be Mary Miller with a 2,574 vote lead over Ryan Terbrugge. Miller received 3,058 votes out of the 4,343 ballots cast. Terbrugge fell behind with only 484 votes. The Republicans chose Don Tracy as the Illinois state senator with 1,439 votes, leading against Jeannie Evans, who received 803. The Republican ballot for the state and lieutenant governor shows Darren Bailey and Aaron Delmar to be the Republican choice with 3,244 out of 4,343 votes cast. This gives Bailey and Delmar the lead over Dabrowski and Mendoza, who only have a mere 530 votes. In the case of the Secretary of State, Republicans chose Diane Harris. Out of 4,343 voters, Harris leads against Walter Adamczyk with 2,151 votes against Adamczyk's 1,343 votes. Republicans see Jessica Fox as the new Shelby County clerk and recorder with 3,458 votes against Christy Otis's 737. Shelby County will continue with Brian McReynolds as their Shelby County sheriff, as he won the Republican ballot with 3,445 votes against Joseph Duncan, who only received 678. The race between Erica Fernhaber and Donald DeBolt shows the Republicans have chosen DeBolt in the race for Shelby County treasurer with a final count of 2,522 for DeBolt and 1,687 for Fernhaber. The Shelbyville School District Building Bond Proposition received 1,346 yes votes and 787 no votes out of 2,278 ballots cast. The Shelby County Federal Scholarship Tax Credit Advisory Referendum shows 2,982 out of 5,131 ballots showed a vote for yes, being 67% of voters. For the Democratic side, Raja Krishnamurthy takes the win for U.S. Senator in Montgomery County, or Shelby County rather at least, with 303 total votes, leading the race against Juliana Stratton, who receives 237 votes out of the total 730 ballots cast. On the Democratic side, in the case of comptroller, Margaret Croak takes the seat with 243 votes, beating Holly Kim, who had 192. The Democratic choice for the 15th Congressional District was Jennifer Todd with 307 votes out of the 730 voters, beating Paul David, who only had 258 votes. Catherine Daniels wins against Terry C. Redmond in the race for the 15th Congressional District's State Central Committee person. And remember, we have all of those results as well on those stories on our website, TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. And now, a word from Taylorville Community Credit Union.
Looking to save more and stress less? This is Will Perkins. At Taylorville Community Credit Union, we're here to help you build a stronger financial future with great loan and deposit rates, convenient locations, and service from people you know and trust. We're member-owned, member-focused, and proud to serve anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, or Shelby counties. Discover the credit union difference. TCCU is your partner in financial success. Member NCUA.
Taylorville School Board members held a meeting earlier this month to discuss a handful of topics. Those topics ranged from changes in the time students would be released from school to upcoming projects. A major focal point of the meeting was Taylorville High School's new Performing Arts Center. Taylorville has been planning this project carefully for several years, and now motions were made to move forward with the project. A spokesperson from O'Shea Construction explained the reason for the delay, stating that the school board must decide on the budget and that the company is on standby for the board to tell them they have the green light to start the design phase.
In terms of the design of the building and where we're at with that, we were tasked from the school board to first go through a programming phase for the Fine Arts Center to figure out what's the program of the building, because at that time, no one really had any idea of what we even want to go in the building, how big the building needs to be, and then tied with that was the budget. So O'Shea was kind of paired with us. We figured out, met with all the staff, met with the school board, and presented a program that everyone could agree upon. These are the spaces that we want. This is about the square footage that we want, and then here is the cost associated with that. And that is a kind of stopping point in terms of what the design team did. From there on, we were waiting from the school board to tell us we're ready to move forward with a project. Preferably, you could agree on the cost and the program that we had come up with. And from there, we would start the design process. We haven't thought about what does it look like in 3D? What are the specific materials? What are the specific dimensions of spaces inside and the relationships that they have to each other? That's stuff that all happens over the course of the design of the building.
O'Shea has 4 quotes for the projected budget. After a discussion and some concerns, the school board unanimously approved a budget of $8,475,568. This budget allows the building of a 10,500 square foot structure with 350 fixed seats for the new performing arts facility.
So the motion as presented was either 4 or D, however you want to put it. The bottom line. Revised program, 10,500 square feet without the multi-use space, with fixed seating of 350, and the projected preliminary range would be from 8.052 to 8.89. Roll call vote when you're ready.
Mrs. Belcher?
Yes.
Mrs. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Finks?
Yes.
Mrs. Mickey?
Yes.
Mrs. Winkle?
Yes.
Dr. Miser?
Yes.
Mrs. Chandler?
Yes.
There were, however, some concerns brought up from board member Dr. Ronald Miser on approving this projected budget plan. His concerns were that this would set the project budget and design plans in stone permanently. Dr. Miser is now happy with the plan since he understands that the approved budget plan is subject to change. The school board still has the ability to change certain aspects of the design plans as needed, such as adding more seats or square footage if they choose to.
That motion is putting a top on the money and putting a top on the seat.
It's giving a direction.
She's just giving them direction to.
Giving them a direction to kind of stay within that.
So that we can start.
So we can start to move forward.
Okay, well, I'll buy that as long as you haven't put a top on the money. No.
Well, it's not actually a top, but the more times we go back to, I agree with Tom. If we look at this drawing and you don't like the way the seats face or whatever it might be, you can say, I don't like that. Can we twist that around? Something minor, something easy. Yes.
If you look,
But we can't go back to these guys and have them redraw 6 times because then there goes our budget.
right, well, if you look at the drawing, they put some sketches out a little bit further.
Yeah.
Okay, and they said maybe we can go back further, and I've asked how much back further, because when I drew it, I came over a little bit more and went back just a little bit more. Then I want to know, and I put a storage, by the way, outside. I want to know if they spread that out, maybe they can get a few more stationary seats back there. That's fine. And certainly, if we get 350, I'll be happy. You're right.
Well,
I'll be happy with
350
that.
and they
The approval of this motion now allows O'Shea Construction to begin drawing up designs. Stay up to date on this story on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. We'll have more coverage of it as time goes on. The Christian County Board is set to meet this evening at 6. Several appointments will be announced, including Marvin Johnson and Matt Hoffman to the Nokomis Fire District. There will be a departmental 2025 summary from the state's attorney's office and health department. The board will hear elected officials' salary ordinances for several departments, including county board, chairman, county treasurer, supervisor, and county clerk. Under Highway, Building, and Grounds, the board will look at a courthouse grounds application for turning the town teal by the Prairie Center against sexual assault, along with boardroom ceiling update and a jail update. Under Executive, Personnel, and Liquor, there will be an EMA update, a county engineer appointment, a change to vacation leave policy, an update on the Veterans Assistance Commission, and a look at an agreement with Madison County for juvenile detention. Under Audit and Finance, there will be a discussion concerning a couple referrals, including a look at an AC unit for the Sheriff's Administration building. Under New Business, there are several things that will be discussed and potentially voted on, including Goebels Acres Minor Subdivision, collective bargaining agreements, and per diem reports. Stay tuned to TaylorvilleDailyNews.com for all the latest on the county board meeting. Last week's storms serve as a good reminder to review your property and auto insurance policies. That's according to Jesse Kohlbecker, Vice President of Claims and Client Services for Country Financial. As of late last week, Country Financial had responded to around 2,000 claims stemming from wind and hail damage from March 10th and 11th storms moving through Illinois. It's getting to the time of year soon, maybe, that you may be looking for some extra help keeping the outside of your home looking good. Whether you're looking for a lawn care service or a landscaper, the Better Business Bureau wants you to do your homework before hiring a company to do the job. Some businesses specialize in one area, while others offer a variety of services. BBB investigator Don O'Brien says it's important to hire a reputable company and read the fine print. O'Brien suggests you ask for references and pictures of other jobs they installed or maintained. If possible, visit these locations to get a first-hand view of the quality of their work and get specifics on prices and be clear on what services are included. Illinois Farm Bureau young leaders are promoting the Hoops for Hunger Bracket Challenge, with the NCAA tournaments having tipped off. Illinois Farm Bureau Young Leader Program Coordinator Perry Harlow says you can also find info at the Illinois Farm Bureau Young Leaders Facebook page. The brackets must be entered before the first round games tomorrow. Now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 58-year-old Roy E. Ziegler III died on Sunday. Cremation rights have been accorded and no services will be provided. 77-year-old Gary Watson of Pana died March 6th. A family-hosted celebration of life will take place at a later date. Those arrangements were handled by McCracken Dean Funeral Home in Pana. 96-year-old Evelyn June Rogers of Taylorville died March 9th. A graveside service will take place Friday at 1 at Camp Butler National Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. 81-year-old Lawrence Larry James McWard of Morrisonville died March 10th. A graveside service will take place on Saturday at 2 at Morrisonville Cemetery. Arrangements are being handled by Perfetti Asali Funeral Home in Morrisonville. And 94-year-old Doris Long of Greenville, formerly of Sorrento, died February 18th. Visitation is April 18th from 11 till noon at Donald Wygand Funeral Home in Greenville. A celebration of life will immediately follow. Interment will be at Brown Cemetery. Arrangements are being handled by Donald Wygand Funeral Home in Greenville. And let's take a look at the weather today. It is overcast currently with a temperature of 32 degrees. It will be mostly cloudy through the mid-morning, and then it will clear gradually. We're expecting a high today near 55. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 37. Tomorrow's high is near 65. Get local news anytime at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.